Welcome back to Zenith Codem TV. In today's episode, we will be going over the highlights of the Seminal vs Rejects matchup from the SPS North America Challenge Finals 2024 Day 1. So without any further ado, let's jump straight into the action.
Absolute a banger. As we head into it now, Rejects taking on Seminal. Hacienda Hardpoint. For Hardpoint, Rejects have been. Let's see which way this one's gonna go. Wow, it must have been high because it felt as if Rejects were holding on purely from some players coming through from solo. Especially towards the latter stages. They had a really good start, of course, but after Seminal started to warm into it, it felt like there was only going to be one victor in that one. And just very, very difficult for Rejects in that game to really get things going. I mean, every now and then they were starting to pop off, but Seminal just finding breaks and finding those kills at the right moments, seemingly every time. Really, really good start for them, and especially with the consideration of how this series could go. You're going into a search and destroy. Seminal undefeated across the season in this mode. You got to be feeling good if you're a Seminal fan right now.
Of course, but when it comes to the 8-0 average of any sort of sport and esports, somebody's O has got to go. We can draw the line, especially in terms of this stage where maybe, you know, every team now at this point has learned how good they are and they're looking to try
to just turn that dial. It becomes just a little bit more impossible. Equalizer out. Game number 1 done. Seminal 250 to 216.
Just for the S&D. I mean, listen, it was a close game. And even when it comes to the numerical values and numbers, I mean, it was also kind of a high kill game. 240 bombs is something that you do or don't really often see, I think, in particular.
Seminal there on the attacking side first. Rejects the first to defend. It's going to be a big hit over towards the B side. Really, really good performance. I mean, you've seen it from the get-go, right? In terms of how Seminal were going to play it. It was passive. You sit back, you try and get something done from there, and then you can just try and... They felt very confident in either which way the rounds can go. When it comes down to Express, they can be very, very fast. They can be very, very headbutty. When it went that way, they're more than fine with it. If they want to sit back and maybe play a slower game, they are more than fine with that too. Seminal, fantastic, fantastic performance in the Search and Destroy against such a strong team in Rejects. They're making it look relatively easy. An absolute seismic performance from Tectonic. Close as it was, but that map is done. We're into the control. What have Rejects got up their sleeve here? As well, mental as that could potentially be, like keeping up with what's happening on Crossroads. I don't know how my voice is going to get through some games tomorrow. It's just back and forth all over the place, and it's just absolutely crazy across the entire map. And it's just chaotic, right? So I think when you are able to find those couple of kills and actually find some control is when then you can start to put the power down, if you like. And really good performance coming in from Rejects. Seminal will be disappointed at that one, but when we looked at the maps, when we were presented with them at the beginning of the series, we said this is definitely one that Rejects can walk away with. They do so, but they still find themselves 2-1 down. Big play. But Jeds will close this one out. Banned on his own. Rejects find him out back over towards the final leaderboard.
Straight away, I mean...
More about rotations at 3 and 4, of course, where you really start. And I mean, it was from the word go, right? It felt as if Rejects just had that little bit of read. It felt as if specifically when we headed over towards P4, the break that comes through with the E from solo, and that's where things started to get a little bit out of hand. Seminal never really recovered from that. Always felt like they were chasing their tail a little bit, which sometimes can be the case when it comes down to Hardpoint. Fantastic work from Rejects, so they just never let up. As soon as they took that lead, they doubled down again and again and again. Seminal had no answer. We head into a map number 5 with 2 maps back-to-back for Rejects.
I think one of the more impressive things...
In control with 5 seconds to go. And is solo going to be the one that carries them through to it? He is. Rejects 250.
Play in head first and just pray you get the kills, but when you look at these stats, 57.
Further away from that. Tunisia Search and Destroy is a very different beast. Rejects on the defensive side first, that will suit them.
But realistically speaking, so much to unpack there, especially in terms of what they're going to do now that this has just happened to them.
And just a crazy Search and Destroy. So many wild moments. So many... I mean, I can't even recall half of them at this stage. I'm delirious, if I'm honest with you.
Oh, me too.
But it's,
me too.
It was just one of those games where it was like, oh, this round's going this way. Bang, something would happen. Like, just absolutely crazy from both these two teams. Brody, struggling to comprehend how my voice is going to hold out for tomorrow after that.
Yeah, this is a little taster, right, of what's going to happen tomorrow. These two teams could still play each other again. Seminal might well have guaranteed Brazil, but they haven't necessarily guaranteed the Season 4 championship just yet. And I think Rejects there prove that they are still very competitive with Seminal. Honestly, when they went 2-0 down, I was like, yeah, Seminal have really winning this one. They gave me a little faith as we got on the maps number 3 and 4, but I'm so glad it went the distance.